Welcome back to Central Valley Talk, where we meet interesting people, talk about interesting businesses and events coming up. Today, we've asked our old friend Gene Beck to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit about water and water treatment.
Yeah.
What's going on? Anything new in that? I mean, in our area.
In the Oakhurst and Raymond water, there is the company has from back middle states. They came and pretty much bought out most of the water systems in this area, in the Oakhurst and Raymond area. So basically, Madera County. But the reason why I got here today is because they sent out this real interesting piece of paper to all the customers, and it's really hard to interpret what they're really trying to tell you, except your bill is going to go up.
Bill's going to go up, and this is why.
Yeah, so they built these new water systems, $14 million from grant from the government, and the one in Raymond is like $4 to $6 million, and it's interesting because we have nitrates and arsenic and cyanide and uranium in the water.
So this is groundwater then?
Yeah, groundwater,
okay.
Well water. And the interesting part is that these new water systems use a manganese oxide. Well, as much information that I can get on manganese oxide, it's a fairly new idea, basically. And the problem is it pretty much just takes iron and manganese out. And it's the manganese oxide is supposed to grab up the manganese. Well, like I say, we have arsenic, cyanide, and uranium that they're all worried about. And they've spent all this money. And then we get this letter in the mail to all the customers that get city water, Oakhurst and Raymond, and they're say, oh, this is wonderful. We got $14 million from the government grant wise, and so you don't have to pay anything, you customers. And then you read down a little farther, and it says, oh, we got a surprise. We forgot to pay the taxes.
Oh boy.
Well, the government usually never gives you grant money or any kind of money, even if you win the lotto, without taxing it.
Without taxing, yeah.
So this surprise that we forgot, and then they also forgot to pay the contractors what they wrote in the letter. It's like, and I know they didn't pay some of the guys; they walked off the job, but they didn't tell us about the acids and stuff that they use for regenerating this manganese oxide that they've done.
That has to be disposed of someplace?
Well, they run some type of acid oxidizer into it to
into the water.
Fix the basically the media that's manganese oxide. Well, you have to get rid of it somewhere, and they don't have any place to get rid of it.
Oh boy!
So they haven't said anything about that. So they're already going to hit us with a surcharge of the taxes and the surcharge to pay the contractors they didn't pay,
which they forgot to pay.
They forgot to pay. This
So you're saying
letter is so unbelievable.
There's going to be another surprise coming up then with the acid disposal.
Oh yeah, we forgot to tell you about the acid that we have to dispose of and go to Kettleman, and then there'll be another money raise hike on their stuff. So
do you think most of the users are reading or understanding this letter?
There's a lot of older people that are retired in that area, and it's even hard for me to read because it isn't a surprise. All of us have to pay our taxes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they come and get us. So, and then reading it, the grants have been taxed forever, and they're saying it's something new, and now we have to take care of it because they spent the $14 million.
You can't just give the $14 million back to the government and avoid the taxes, I guess.
Yeah, the whole letter doesn't make any sense. I think they could have wrote it a little bit better, but of course it's on their side of the gaining more money out of the poor people. And they talk about all the engineers that I know of that are around in this area with water treatment. They're all worried about this uranium that's in the water. And it's basically from the granite that's in the area. And we water treatment operators, we take that stuff, that uranium out of the water, like 87%, by using reverse osmosis systems. It won't go through the membrane, other than, the other left after the 87%, because usually the uranium is stuck to some kind of particle, and it's a sediment particle. So that's why I'm talking today, because it gives everybody a little bit better idea of what's going on, and read the letter better and complain. So
are they using reverse osmosis, these plants?
No.
Or do they even tell you what they're just using the magnesium oxide?
Yeah, and usually you use something like that or green sand, and you use it for a pre-filter. And then you run it through a membrane.
Okay.
And I get so much flack from these engineers that are in the area for getting rid of the reject water. That's basically, it's a little bit more denser with the uranium in the water, but it's connected to a sediment. So
uranium doesn't just float out there itself. It has to be,
usually it is connected to a sediment. So it's not a bad thing to get rid of, but there's so many other things. There's arsenic and cyanide.
Those are pretty serious things to have in your water.
And nitrates. Those are the more worrisome ones.
Would reverse osmosis get rid of that?
Yeah. It's most everything is like 98, 99%. So I always suggest to everybody to, use drinking water no matter what. Make sure it's reverse osmosis water. Or the easiest way is spend maybe possibly like $400 is usually a good common number for a unit on your sink.
Right.
And it gives you the safe water, no matter what.
Especially up there when they're leaving all that stuff in the water.
They're not saying.
They're
saying this is going to clean all the water up, and that's why they're doing this.
So it's a privately held agency or company. It's not a public.
It's a private company. But like I say, there's a company back east in the mid states that have bought them, and they're just kind of going through the motions to take over. So it's still, I pushed for the easiest way is put the RO underneath the sink. And
does that filter, you have to change it sometimes?
You need to service them, but most all the little filters that go in there are less than $10 a piece. So you might have 3 of them in there, so it's $30.
Right.
I would change them once a year.
Right.
The membrane, depending on how bad your water is, or if you have any pre-filter, and if you get most of the iron that's a lot of times in the water around here out, it doesn't contaminate the membrane. And then you can change it 3 to 5 years away. And then so the big thing is just to do that.
So you could take care of a lot of the things your own water company is missing out on. It sounds like a good investment. Get something like that.
It is. I've been putting quite a few of them in because it's more reasonable, and if they want to get softer water in their house so they don't have water spots and stuff, we've been using green sand.
Is that a pre-filter?
A pre-filter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a green sand, and then I've been using Permagate instead of some oxidizer that is rough on everything. So to reestablish the media that's in that green sand medium.
Now, you scared me a little bit because I do drink that water up there at Oakhurst or in Raymond sometimes. I have drank it many times. So if somebody's concerned about this, should they call you or do you offer some?
Give me a call. the advice is always free.
Okay.
And I've always stated that when I'm down here talking, but I'd like everybody to rethink. Don't just assume that they're getting everything out of the water with these water treatment.
And in that area, you don't know what they're getting out except the magnesium, I guess.
I will probably take some tests just for my own thoughts.
Yeah.
And then if I can at least relay it on to customers that call me and stuff and tell them, okay, this is black and white. This went to a medical laboratory that I do this all the time, and it's been evaluated what is they're really taking out.
But everybody in Raymond, for example, they're all getting the same water. And in Oakhurst, they're all getting the same water.
And,
so you've seen a few tests, and you know what's coming out. So
yeah, but I'm curious now to see what's coming out when they get their water. Well, they have the one in Raymond supposedly working since March 1st. So it'd be interesting just to take the sample.
And it's going to keep changing as this new company's taking over and putting.
No, I think they're pretty much done. They spent their money by the sound of it.
Okay, very good.
So,
do you have a company that does this?
What that?
Do you have a company that does this?
Well, my private company, myself, I do all the small stuff because I put in some estimates on some big water systems that have a pre-filter system and the RO system, but like I say, engineers in this area, they like more than you just putting the unit in and making it safe water. Yeah. And I won't say what they like.
Tell us the name of your company and, again, the phone number. How can people reach you?
Beck's M&T, and my cell phone is 805-478-4003, and the shop number is 559-689-3800. You can leave a note on either one. The cell phone I carry around all the time, but we don't have cell zone up there in Raymond. So
but they leave a message on that
you
phone.
Can text me too.
So if you're up in that area and you're not even sure what we're talking about, but you know there's something, it's free to call Gene, right?
Yeah, and I'll talk way down to simple terms and let you know. I take care of quite a few wells and stuff in the area too, and so you got well water or city water. So
it may be the same problem.
Yeah. Most of it is. I found 1 out of 20 up one well up in by Chichancy that was drinkable water.
Now, if somebody has a well, I have most of my life. Is there filters in there or anything, or is it just pump it up and you drink it?
Yeah, most of them pump it up and drink it, but I always suggest not to, because unless you've got one of these wells that already been tested, and I do a thorough 24 test to this medical laboratory because they're very exact, and I've been dealing with them for many years because they are very exact on their testing. So
it's worth finding out. Anything else you want our viewers to know? We're getting the signal. We're out of time.
Okay. Yeah. If you need water testing, let me know. My rates are not bad at all. Most of the time it's like $120 to get a full 24
That sounds like a very reasonable amount to find out something
is.
very important about your life. And it's not just drinking water. You absorb water through your skin in the shower and stuff, I'd imagine. So
had a few places where I had to do something with the water so they could even take showers.
Oh, my goodness. Our guest is Gene Beck. If you didn't get down his numbers and you say, I must find out some answers, call me. I'll give you Gene's direct cell phone number if that's okay. And we'll figure out this water up in that Madera, Raymond, Oakhurst area. We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.